Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. I'm your host Michma Bersaha. For today's top stories, the 37th National Book Festival begins today. Since the beginning of this year, 611 Mongolian citizens have been turned back at South Korean border. There are approximately 900 children with a hearing and speech impairment nationwide. For the news, stay tuned. Under the patronage of the President of Mongolia, the 37th National Book Festival begins today, May 16, 2025, at Secretary Square, running through May 18th. The festival celebrates the theme, Let's Read More, and will gather thousands of book lovers, including young readers, writers, and publishers from Mongolia and abroad, with a rich program of events promoting reading culture, organizing book fairs, author meet and greets, and opportunities for intellectual exchange.
At the festival, various events relating to books and reading culture, especially for children, are set to take place, including the award ceremony for the Mirginom or Wise Book Trophy, nomination for the Book's Best Friend Award. The festival also featuring 50 books on nature and special pavilions highlighting the Mazale or the Gobi bear. Besides book fairs, the festival offers a comfortable environment for book readers while also providing opportunities to obtain translation copyrights through publishing agencies, meet authors, receive advice on copyright, writing, reading, book promotion and marketing services, and join reading clubs. Writers and publishers from the Russian Federation, the People's Republic of China, and the Republic of Korea participating in the 37th National Book Festival. The festival is introducing new services for people interested in writing, such as evaluating the cost of publishing a book. The book festival attracts 300,000 visitors, 200 publishers, more than 300 writers and authors, and representatives from 10 countries. Around 80% of the visitors are young people under the age of 30. The first National Book Festival was held in 2007 on the initiative of South, host and editor of Nami Yurtdans TV program. The Nami Soil Yurtdans NGO has been organizing this festival on the third weekend of May and September annually.
Since January, 611 Mongolian citizens have been denied entry to South Korea despite holding a valid visa, highlighting a growing trend of rejections that raises serious concerns over financial losses, emotional distress, and potential human rights violations.
Currently, more than 10 agencies in Mongolia are operating to assist with South Korean visa applications. Last year alone, over 140,000 Mongolian citizens applied for a visa and traveled to South Korea. Of these, more than 1,800 were denied entry at the border. As a result, many citizens suffered financial loss and emotional distress. They told me to scan my fingerprint and I did. Then they said take a photo, so I took off my glasses that were on my head. After the photo, they said welcome, stamped my passport, and then told me I had to go back. When I asked what the issue was, they say there's no exit stamp in my passport. That means it looks like I'm still in Korea. So if my visa expires, it will appear as if I have overstayed. But I should have had an exit stamp, and I don't. I have issues with my legs, arms, and back. I was not going there to do hard labor. I was simply going as a tourist on a travel visa. I should have the right to travel freely, like to any other country. But why does it feel like I'm applying for prison admission? The way they interrogate you, it's frightening. And I didn't even violate anything. Article 16 of the Constitution of Mongolia guarantees the right of citizens to travel freely and to be protected from arbitrary treatment. Mongolia is party to several international treaties, including the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Violations of personal rights in this case also go against the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. On January 14, 2025, the National Human Rights Commission of Mongolia issued a formal conclusion regarding this issue, signed by Commissioner Narantoya. In 2023, over 1,500 Mongolian citizens were sent back from the South Korean border. That number rose to more than 1,800 in 2024, and as of May 11, 2025, 611 citizens have already been turned away. This upward trend continues year by year. Those who are denied entry are held in detention facilities for 2 to 7 days before being sent back. These facilities are frequently reported to be sites of serious human rights violations.
It's up to the host country to decide whether to allow entry. But from our side, we must speak out to protect human rights and ensure our citizens are not mistreated. People are being held for long periods. Their mobile phones and private data are being seized without consent, and their bags are searched. Money is counted in front of them. The Mongolia-South Korea parliamentary group must work to resolve these issues.
We are constantly requesting explanations from the South Korean side regarding citizens being turned back at the border. If they have no intention of allowing people in, why issue them a visa in the first place? We have formally raised this concern. The South Korean embassy says they relay our messages to their headquarters. They claim that decisions are made by the Ministry of Justice in Korea. However, if the traveler's intent isn't clearly understood, they assume the person is attempting illegal work and deny entry. Of course, we can't insist that every person be allowed entry regardless of foreign laws. Even in Mongolia, if a traveler's purpose is unclear, we don't let them in either. To travel to South Korea on a tourist visa, Mongolian citizens typically spend between 3 and 4 million Mongolian tukruks per person on plane tickets, visa fees, and certified translation costs. If they are denied entry despite having received a visa, the traveler suffers a big loss. Citizens are urging human rights organizations and responsible ministries to take this issue seriously and intervene.
As of today, there are 14,609 children with disabilities across the country. Among them, 894 children have hearing and speech impairments, accounting for 6% of all children with disabilities. Currently, 494 of these children are enrolled in general education schools. Around 50% of them, approximately 250 students, attend the school number 29, which is significantly dedicated to children with hearing and speech impairments.
School number 29 currently has a total of 19 first-grade students. One of them, Irten, was not born with a disability. When he was 8 months old, the nationwide COVID-19 lockdown began, and he remained indoors for the next 2 years. It wasn't until he was 2 years and 8 months old that his family noticed he was unable to hear. After consulting doctors, he was diagnosed with a hearing impairment caused by oxygen deficiency. He immediately underwent cochlear implant surgery and began continuous treatment. Alongside that, he worked with speech therapists and gradually started to improve.
My name is Irten. I like birds. They are very beautiful. Goodbye.
From the very first day of school, my son was able to communicate using sign language when he arrived. Now, in math class, he can almost solve problems just like any other child in a regular school. His reading skills are a bit weaker because he cannot hear, but overall he is improving day by day. I never imagined he would progress this much, so I'm very happy. No matter where you are, I want to tell parents that if you want your child to develop, you must never be lazy and make sure to bring them to school. Teachers have said that children with hearing impairments cannot hear but are capable of learning everything that other children know and can do. By using special teaching methods designed specifically for these children, they can acquire a sufficient general education. However, some parents think their children cannot learn and keep them at home. Teachers also say this is a violation of the children's rights. The very first students I taught and graduated from this school include a girl who independently creates felt crafts and handmade products and has developed her skills into running her own business. There is also a student who studied physical education and became a teacher. Another girl is studying and living in China. Many of my former students have become skilled professionals and are living successful, independent lives, which makes me very proud. When the children enter first grade, they learn basic sign language such as greetings like hello, thank you, and goodbye. As they begin to learn the alphabet, they also simultaneously learn fingerspelling. They are taught both spoken and written language side by side. Most kids learn by listening and watching, followed by understanding with their brains. But kids with hearing problems learn by watching and using sign language to talk and understand. Therefore, teachers emphasize the importance of enrolling them in kindergarten and school without delay. Children with hearing impairments often excel in academics, arts, and sports because they can concentrate deeply without being distracted by background noises. When their challenges are seen from a different angle, these actually can become strengths.
Here are the currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now, let's bring you international news in partner with major news agencies worldwide. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan opened the alliance's foreign ministers meeting in Antalya on Thursday. A major topic on the agenda is U.S. proposal calling for member states to significantly increase defense spending to 5% of their GDP over the next 7 years.
The ongoing war in Ukraine continues to dominate NATO discussions. The ministers are expected to focus on the alliance's continued support for Ukraine amid growing security challenges in the region.
We need to discuss how to make sure that NATO will be stronger. That means more defense spending. It means more defense industrial production. But also how to make sure that NATO is fair, that we equally distribute the burden amongst allies, and that is only fair, but also a NATO which is more lethal, not by becoming offensive, but by being so strong that nobody will ever attack us, because they know if they would, this defensive alliance, if we will be attacked, our reaction will be devastating.
You all know that Turkey has always stressed the need for a diplomatic track to this end. Now, after 3 years of immense suffering, there is finally a window of opportunity. The talks in Istanbul hopefully may open a new chapter. Thank you.
Meanwhile, peace talks between Ukrainian and Russian delegations are set to begin in Ankara. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in Turkey for talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and expressed readiness for a direct dialogue with Russian President Vladimir Putin. However, Putin is not expected to attend the discussions.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We will see you next week with more news and updates. Have a great weekend.